My son said to me, No, it's okay. You're probably just nervous. After all, this was only the first day of school. He seemed freaked out than he usually would, like more than he usually would on his first day of school. To be honest, that night he stayed up and he complained about the teacher looking creepy, like herself, like her appearance. I assumed it was one of those things like they just didn't trust the adult or something. Because he was having a nightmare when he did fall asleep about the teacher, with special arrangements and payments made with the school, I was allowed to see what he was doing at recess since it was, after all, just kindergarten. And genuinely nothing happened. The kids were surrounded by a fence, and the fence was a play area where they were, with toys, obstacles, stuff like that. There were benches for them to sit on. But this isn't the story of what you might think. This is something worse. It was only the first 2 months of school when my son started to act very strange. He started talking about murder, blood, guts, gore, mystery, and the creepiest thing that I always found was whenever he would talk about killing animals himself, like he'd always talk about, for instance, tagging a cat. I was beginning to get concerned about why this would be. So I asked him where he started getting these ideas, and I was a little concerned. He had said that he was learning these things from the teacher. I sort of believed it because, to be honest with you, I have never had him watch a horror film of any kind, so he shouldn't even know what guts or gore or killing is. He would only know what blood is from when he got scrapes and boo boos, basically. So that's when I began to realize whenever I was watching the kids at recess, they were always doing the exact same thing. I was looking at the ones from the previous days, and the kids were always in the exact same spot, playing the exact same game, talking about the exact same subject, wearing the exact same clothes. That's immediately a lot of things odd. You don't just wear the exact same clothes every day. I began to notice that from when he was in recess today, he was wearing a different shirt on the camera compared to what he even came home with. I decided the next day I would go up to the office and demand why I must have been getting a recording of some sort. When we were there, my son went ahead and went to class. In the do so, I got into a big argument with the principal, and I am not going to lie, I really did. They had a couple questions, one of which that concerned me and confused me the most was they couldn't tell, like, they didn't recognize the name of the teacher whenever I would tell them. But they also probably just didn't want to do anything because they're probably lazy people, I assume. Because shortly after, they said it's probably nothing and they told me to get out of the building or they'd have the police escort me out. Later that day, when my son got off the bus, he had red stains that looked like blood on his white shirt that he wore. I asked him where he got the blood stains from. He said from his friend. I asked why, what they were, and he said it was the red liquid that came from the body. I said, why was your friend having a red liquid come from the body, he said. He said it was an assignment our teacher was having us do. We had to hurt my friend. I was told that if I told anyone, I'd be the next victim. I immediately picked up that something was extremely wrong with this teacher specifically. I started trying to ask him more questions, and in to do so, I got no further. Every time I asked him something, it was always the same reply. Like, what all did y'all do to him? Hmm, I don't think I should tell. I don't want to get hurt. Okay, what's your teacher teach you? Hmm, I don't know if I should tell. I don't want to get hurt. Okay, do you have any homework? No, that was the only thing he said that was different. I was even more concerned than previously, and I honestly couldn't sleep that night. I was debating if I should go to the police or what, and I decided that in the morning, instead of taking my son to the bus stop or to school, I would take him to the police station because maybe the info would work, like what my kid said, what I heard, what I was told from the principal's office, and the videotape of the exact same recording when I was supposed to get a live recording of the students. So, when I did fall asleep, it was about 1 o'clock in the morning. I woke up to the sound of a cat hissing and hollering in pain. I turned over and the time on my alarm clock was 3:17 a.m. Immediately, the pain of the what sounded like the house cat got even more intense and louder. I immediately got up, realizing there was probably a robbery or something was harming the cat, and that was all that mattered. When I got up and I ran out of the room, the sound was coming from the laundry room. I slammed the door open, and I was very freaked out, grossed, and disturbed when I saw that my kid had the cat in the corner. Like, the back of my child was facing me, and the cat was in the corner with a pool of blood coming from it. And the cat was still hissing and hollering and everything. So I immediately ran over and genuinely, the cat was covered in blood, so clearly he was not fine. I immediately realized that my son had a butcher knife in his hand, and I took it out of his hand as fast as I could. Immediately, he said, "I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry," in a panicking voice. I turned over and I set the knife right there on the washer, and then right when I turned around, I heard a crack. And I was very upset. I was very confused as well. My kid had just snapped the neck of the pet. More blood started dripping from its mouth, and I immediately fell down in shock and upset, and I hit my head on the washer. When I didn't pass out, but my vision was blurred, I could see that my kid was running out of the room. And as my vision got better and I started to stand up and start walking to find my kid, I heard the back door slam open. When I ran out, I couldn't find him. I assumed he ran off into the woods behind our neighborhood. I went to the school the next day, and not just did I not find my kid, but I didn't find any of the other kids on the recording, nor did I find a teacher. My son's classroom had a whole new set of kids in it, with a new teacher. The only person that was in that school still that was there when my kid was there was the principal. I went to the police room, or no, to the police station, and I told them everything that happened, but they didn't believe me. They thought that I was crazy or something. They didn't say it, but I could tell by their expressions. And to this day, I still sit at the back of the house outside with the lamp on. Well, not the lamp, but what was it called? I still sit out there at night with a flashlight every night, hoping that I can find my son, find out more, and find out who it was that was even their teacher, what all he was teaching them. Clearly, it was nothing good that would be able to help them in the future. But I noticed something even weirder ever since the disappearance of my kid. One thing I didn't mention to the police was that whenever I came back inside after my kid ran off, not just was the cat body gone, the blood was gone too, and nothing was there. There was the room that my kid was in, but none of the toys or clothes were there. The mattress and everything on the mattress was there. The curtains and the drawings were there, but none of the toys or clothes or any accessories like that were there. And come to think of it, now everything I had on the fridge stating that I even had a kid is gone. The birth certificate, everything. Which truly makes me wonder while I sit out here at night. Could I have been imagining this the whole time? Or could this have been real? Was this even my doing?